out of the way. Okay, this is, what is it, 202 of the tree committee, meeting of, November 14th. Here's Paul. And, let him get on. Hi, Paul.
Hello.
We're just starting now.
Yeah.
I think we're just missing, Nicole, eh?
Early.
Sure,
Yeah.
really.
Okay, the first order of business is, there's Nicole. We're waiting. Hi, Nicole. How you doing?
Good. How you guys doing?
We're okay.
Good.
Okay, good. Okay, we're just starting the meeting, and I don't think we will be that long, this meeting. First order of business is the approval of the minutes of October 10th. You have a chance to look at them. I'll take a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of,
Motion made to approve the minutes of October 10th. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion on the motion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oh, raise your hand. Let's raise our hand. Okay. Okay. Motion passes. All right. Old business. There are a number of things we want to get. Some things we're going to have to postpone again, I know, but do we have anything on the tree ordinance, or we can wait another meeting on this?
So I have what I had edited. It was going to present at the last meeting before you had the technical difficulties. If you'd like me to share the screen, I can start that. I don't know if Bill had a chance to check it out yet. But I just have my notes from it.
Where are we? I mean,
Check it out.
do we have, do you have the draft of the entire changes, or just a portion again? What are we looking at?
Here, let me just get on the screen for you. Give me just a moment.
Have you looked at it, Bill?
I have. I looked at the section that he added. I think it's section 6.
Mhm.
And it's just one section of many that we've got to
Yeah.
get through, but it looks okay to me.
How, where are we in terms of the entire document? Are we dealing with how many sections?
I think we might be a third of the way through, maybe half.
Yeah, so this section that I'm working in, section 6, is going to probably be the bulk of it. So that's why I was trying to kind of split it up, so we weren't doing the entirety of it is section 6 at one meeting. And just building
I
up
think
to
of the simplest way of dealing with this. It's somewhat, how long is section 6 you talking about? 2, 3, 10 paragraphs? What? I'll go by your recommendation. I'm just wondering whether we should just send it to everybody and we set aside, half the meeting at the next time and go through everything, or, well, how would you want to do it, Josh?
And I'd love to leave it up to you guys on how you'd like to take a bite out of it, because like I said, so there were some edits I made. So we had the duties of the tree warden in section 4.
Yeah.
I felt that moving it to section 5 under administrative responsibilities, it probably makes a little bit more sense. So that was one of the edits that I had. And then just the creation of section 6.1 to I think I filled in up to 6.7. And then I had additional disease rot and infestation that we would need to define, pruning and trimming, line clearance standards, and then moving on from there. So what I had put into section 6, I was hoping that we could build off of that into the following sections, if that makes sense.
Well, again, Claire, is 6.1 through 6.7 new, or is it's just?
Yeah, that's all everything that's new.
All right.
So it's the planting, protection, and then it goes on to maintaining, preservation,
Okay, and I'm looking at the rest, 7, 8, and 9 are essentially, simple, right? Appeals, penalties, and
From what I was able to gather from the recommendations from the state, those are pretty
standard.
easy. It's just this section 6.
Section 6 sounds like the most important part, correct?
Yes,
Yeah, from my opinion, Bill, would you agree?
I would agree. I would agree, and I would say that if everybody takes a look at this, we can probably add more to section 6.
Mhm.
Can't think of the instance right now, but I know there will be some additions that people will want to put in.
Yeah, and that's the thing is I'm kind of going off of examples and the research that I'm able to do, but you guys definitely have more expertise in this and you'll be able to provide more insight on it that I'd miss. So if it makes more sense to send what I have to the committee and then everybody can kind of, toss me their edits and we can go through them at a meeting and approve or say, that'd be redundant or anything like that, we can make those changes that way.
Well, I'm leaning towards you sending it to everybody, and we can then look at it and spend some time thinking about it, and then maybe go through it quicker, since we all will have had a time to look at it. Well, any other opinion? I mean, I'm thinking of maybe moving this to the next meeting with our comments then. But if you want to go through everything now, I'm willing to do that also. What do you think? Any
I
thoughts?
think it would be a good idea to let everybody take a look at it first.
Right, I agree.
Okay,
And
I'm thinking the same thing.
how
But
how
do
would
this-
you like, what would be the easiest way for me to compile everybody's comments that way we're not looking at 5 different documents.
Well, I'm not sure we need, I think the comments could be made at the next meeting when we talk about it.
Okay, so just kind of like live, we'll go over it.
Right.
Okay.
Or maybe if people have questions or comments directed to you, they can email you directly with.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I can take notes on that and make sure that they're addressed at the next meeting.
Okay, why don't we do this, if it's okay with all of you? Josh, why don't you send out to everybody this document?
Mhm.
And send again the previous changes that you made, so we have a full document. And what I'm hearing is that this is the crux of the whole document right now we're dealing with. And then the rest of us will look at it. If we have questions or comments, we can send them to you. And we'll set time aside at the next meeting to go over this once and for all. Is that okay?
Yeah, that sounds good. I mean, like I said, I didn't want to get too much in here because going off of different examples, seems like some of the towns get a little bit bogged down in this section and it ends up being like 10 pages of just very detailed management. So I think that's probably the best way is just to get everybody's thoughts rather than compiling something and having to go back and remove.
Okay, let's say this then. The tree ordinance we'll do at the next meeting, and we'll set enough time aside for it. And in the meantime, all of us will take a look at the document that Josh will send to us. And we'll either ask him for questions and then we'll discuss the next meeting, okay?
Okay.
Is that okay with everybody?
Mhm.
All right,
Yes.
good. Okay, good. Thanks, Josh. Nicole, Tree City?
Yes, can I share my screen? I can show you the application in progress. So, did that work? You seeing kind of like a website?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not seeing why we
Oh, then it's
not
not
have the
scrolling.
permit, but it's not the actual unit down there, but, you know.
So what I learned is actually we were a tree city from 1996 all the way through 2006. So that was something interesting. So that
Oh.
once I entered the information for Bridgewater, it picked back up all of those approved applications that we had. I don't know if somebody was being funny or if they just filled this in because there wasn't a name, but it does say John Doe filled it out. But anyway, the new application for 2023 is due December 31st, and the application is in progress.
Demo is.
So
for-
basically, there's like these different parts to it. It's not letting me move around right now. Hold on.
Yeah, for you.
There we go. It was just being slow. So I'm in the process of filling out all of the information that I possibly can. But I think at some point we will have to have this final application reviewed. I'm assuming maybe by Michael, since his name would need to be, I mean, I'm assuming he would be the person who would be considered the mayor or equivalent contact.
Mhm.
But I've set it so that if the folks at Tree City have any questions, they're gonna reach out to me, like saying, you know, what's this, so I can kind of shepherd the effort. But ultimately, you know, his name would be there. And at one point, Ray, I also had to add you. I figured for PR and communications, that would also be Michael. You know, again, I'd like to kind of touch on that. They had me enter this information about our community. Our current population, that I basically did a Google search, but I'm now wondering if I should maybe check with the town clerk to get an official number. That I was thinking of just kind of checking in with her. Standard one, Ray, this is where I entered your information as the tree board chairperson.
Yeah,
I mean, I think it's okay. I didn't even ask you for your address. I'm just putting care of the, you know, the town, city office building. I'm just putting myself for now as that additional member. So all this is very repetitive. When we get to standard two, they are asking us to sort of confirm our current ordinance. So I attached it. I have to confirm that it does all of these things, you know, that it's in effect, that it addresses all public trees, that it delegates authority over the public trees, and it does right now because it does give delegate authority to the tree warden. And it has clear guidance on protecting and planting and maintaining and removing trees. So I've started to cut and paste relevant language from the document, the current document, not the one that Josh you know, that we're thinking of changing. So I've been, you know, inserting that in, I've attached it. I have another question. If there's a way that we could figure out what the date of our current tree ordinance was established. It's part of the town charter, so I pulled that date off of it, but I'm not sure if that's, so I'm wondering if anyone has any ideas of where I get that information, where our current tree ordinance was established.
I think Marilee probably the only person I can think of that would be able to.
Oh, okay. All right, well, I'll check in
Excuse
with
me
her
one
on those
second,
two
Nicole. Does
questions.
somebody,
Yep,
does somebody have I hear some voices in the background. somewhere.
sorry.
that
Yeah,
you?
that's me.
Oh, okay,
I'll be quick. All right, current tree, yeah, I've attached our ordinance. Now, this is where I need the input from Paul. So I haven't been able to fill in this piece. But Paul, this is just sort of a live version of that worksheet that I had sent along, and I think someone in your office was kind of trying to work through it.
Yeah, I actually have some hard copies right here that I'm working on. But I
Okay.
have the numbers you're gonna need. The information we have is fairly minimal, but I think it would be enough to get it moving.
Okay, so if you want, I can come by, and when you think you have everything, I can come by and grab it, or you can scan it or whatever,
Yeah,
and
I
I
can
can start
go
to fill
here.
that in.
If you wanna call the office, we can talk through it or whatever works for you.
Okay, let's do that. I will call you maybe later this week.
Sure, great.
Okay. And then standard 4 was the date of our Arbor Day, proof of our Arbor Day observance. So actually I found on the the public access TV. I found the link, so we're able to attach that. I was able to attach the Arbor Day proclamation that was signed by, that was signed. So so basically we're going to be ready to go once I confirm those 2 items from Mary Lee, once I am able to complete the standard 3, the financial information. So at that point, I should probably review the whole application with Michael before we push submit, and it won't let me go to here until I fill everything out. So I don't know who needs to sign it. I'm assuming he and I would need to sign it, but it won't let me go to that page till I fill out all this other information.
What's the
So,
deadline, Nicole?
December 31st.
All
We
right,
got plenty of time.
yeah, that scares me though.
Yeah.
When you have plenty of time, you never know.
I
Uh,
know.
So specifically, you need what? You need to get Paul's data. You need to
Yep.
get Michael to sign off on it. What else?
That's it. Confirming with Mary Lee the date of our tree ordinance was established and our current population.
Hey, Josh, you can twist Michael's arm to give him time to get this signed off.
Yep, whenever you're ready, Nicole, send it to me and I'll get it taken care of.
Okay.
All right, so how
So
soon?
by the next meeting, this will be, this will be submitted.
Okay,
Uh,
that's great.
but-
Yep. So I just wanted to show everyone the progress and what it kind of looks like and the new information that now we know when we were a tree city.
Okay.
So it's
just
been
do
almost
me
20
one
years.
thing. If you have any glitches, why don't you email me? Let me know, okay?
Yeah.
So, let's shoot that we can get this done by the next meeting. We're done with
Yep.
it. Okay?
Yep.
Honestly, I think
Any comments, anybody? This is good.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. This is good. Okay. I take it my understanding, the forestry department thing is still in progress. Paul?
Yeah, so Michael had to postpone, he was pretty ill from what I understand, so we have a scheduled appointment for the 1st of December.
Okay, that's good. Again, well, I'm just repeating myself. I think we should set goals for ourselves when we do things. And I think the goal for this should be that this is in the budget the next fiscal year, July 1st. So we have a few months, but I think it's still an uphill struggle we're gonna have. But I do believe though that Michael is moving in the right direction, so maybe we can get this done by then. Okay?
Okay.
Paul, you're okay with that?
I'm great with that.
Okay, all right. Tree mitigation, my understanding is we want to put this off too, is that correct?
That's sort of part of the discussion with Michael as well, right?
No, I thought, Nicole? Shirley?
But when the discussion of funds or spending the funds and approval and.
That was, well, this was a little bit
I'm sorry,
different.
I'm
This-
sorry. I'm
Yeah.
I'm confusing this. No, this is the,
the rink wasn't happening.
this is you were coming up with a formula for cutting trees down, correct? And you want to put this off in the next meeting, my understanding, correct?
Yes, well, Shirley and I definitely made progress and we had pulled some things together from different towns. And I think we just needed to kind of organize it and make it into more of a, proposal, I guess, that everyone could sort of review. It was really just recommendations for the planning,
Okay,
for how a more formal process, I guess, for collecting mitigation funds when, that's the last resort.
And stormwater, right.
could you do this when you and Shirley come up with something? Could you just send us the draft before the meeting so we can go over it?
Sure.
Shirley, Nicole, okay? Shirley, you're there, but we don't see you.
Yeah, I'm looking. I agree. We will let you know when we've got something, all right?
Okay. All right, I think the next item, pamphlets and tax bill inserts are sort of together. We we had some, I think, Bill, you had some possible options for pamphlets. We had like 3 different options.
Yeah, I think I sent, 3 examples to Josh. Did you get those, Josh? Examples of tree planting, suitable for stuffing in, tax bills.
The only thing I had from you, Bill, was what Ray had forwarded over for, when he was posting the agenda. Sorry about that.
No. Well, I can dig that up and resend it to you.
Okay, yeah, and then once you do, I'll forward it right over to the committee.
Okay, okay. I also sent a flyer for the Mass Tree Warden's upcoming annual meeting,
Right,
only to highlight the fact to maybe Michael, that tree wardens are real in this state, and most towns enjoy some serious services.
Yeah.
Such.
maybe, yeah, on that point, Josh, maybe, do you want me to forward that to Michael? Can you just give it to him?
Yeah, I can give that to him.
Okay. The pamphlet. I didn't you have like 3, Bill, 3 options that you had?
Yes, yes.
Do you recommend a particular one?
Oh boy. I haven't looked at them now for 6 weeks. There is one of the 3 that I think is better than the other 2, but I can't remember which one it is at this point.
Maybe we can decide this now. Let me just give you an update on it's tied with this and how we're gonna send this out. In F tax bill insert, remember we talked about inserting the flyer in the tax bills. After miscommunication with the accounting department and the tax department at the town hall, I did talk to people there, and bottom line is, they can insert something in the tax bill. Question is it feasible to do it that way?
Ray, I just checked my spam and I found what Bill sent. I don't know why I'm spam, but you can put it up on the screen if that helps.
What up?
The 3 attachments that he sent over for the flyers.
All right, do that.
Yeah, sorry about that, Bill. So this is the first one.
That's a 4-page foldout, I think.
Yeah, it looks to be a 4-page fold out. So this would be the fold.
That looks good.
And then I can bring up the other ones in just a moment.
Mhm.
Second one.
Is it 1 page,
No, this is 2 pages.
2 pages? Is it? Okay,
I think this is more like an actual page format, right, Bill?
Yeah, yeah.
Or still fold out.
I prefer the first one.
Yeah, I do as well.
yeah, it's more pictures. I like it too.
Exactly. People like pictures. They don't like to read paragraphs.
All right, let me get the third one up for you guys.
without actually reading them all word for word, I like the first one.
Yeah, this one is from the DCR. I think the first one is from the International Society of Arboriculture,
Arbor Day, right?
Arbor Day Foundation.
Definitely easy to look at.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
All right, let me tell you the problem. Tax department is not against putting inserts in. There's a problem though, in that if I understood incorrectly, the next tax bill goes out in 4 weeks, which might be difficult for us to get something going by then. And the one following that is in June, I guess. They have the excise tax bills going out. But the problem is their supplier, we would have to give them the document and they would print it. We wouldn't give them in stuffed envelopes.
great.
And the cost would probably be roughly $6,000+ to do this.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah. He thought, and I talked to the Nicole in the planning department, that they also send things out. They use the same supplier. And she said they're easy to deal with. That basically what they're recommending, and we do it ourselves. It might be the simplest way to do it. We could do it when we want and decide what we want to put in it. But there is a cost here to do it. So before I say anything, what are your thoughts? I still want to do something. I think it's good PR for us, and it's just good for the town to have something like this go out.
Can we look around at some different vendors and maybe get some pricing on having wouldn't necessarily have to go in an envelope, just something that would be made, some type of card or that fold out that would just be addressed and sent out to the residents. I'm trying to think, you get things in your mail every day, some cards for a landscaper or an oil company, things of like that nature.
But isn't the bill, if we go with the first one, it's a fold out, you said, isn't it?
Yes,
So when you fold it out, what is it, 2 pages or what? I mean, what is it?
I think, yeah, it's about 2 pages.
And is there a cost for that, Bill?
No, I don't think so. I think we can download that and print it ourselves.
Okay.
Well,
Uh,
go ahead, Pat.
Remember, I had hoped or thought we might be doing something at the spring election, and we could hand out the brochures or pamphlets at that time with possibly seedlings. I don't know. We don't want to conflict with some other group that's doing it, but that's something that was always done in the past.
Sounds like it would be very inexpensive to do it that way.
We wouldn't cover the entire town, that's for sure, because the turnout for that election isn't great, but it's something.
What do the rest of you think?
Well,
Rick,
I want to be certain, so if these are a general question of any of these that were pre-made, like by the Arbor Day Foundation, are we adding something about it being from us? Is that a separate page, or is there a space on that page that says we're the Bridgewater Tree Committee? Like, how does that connect to the
Good
work
point.
of this committee
Good point.
or the identity of this committee? It could, I just didn't know if that's part of the plan or not.
I didn't think of that. Bill, all these 3 options, there's no requirement that we get permission from them to print it, is there? Or they're just,
No, it's a public document. They're hoping that people will disseminate these.
James's point is a good one. We need to have our stamp on there in some way.
Well, if it were a handout at the polls, you could have a sign that said uh, thanks to the Bridgewater Tree Board, please take one of these.
Right, and we could actually be there handing them out. We could take turns,
Yeah, we could do that.
Mhm.
maybe. Or we could literally put our stamp on them. If there's 2 inches of spare space on it, we get a rubber stamp.
Ray, would it be helpful if I reached out to Bridgewater Print to see how much it would cost to get these printed for you?
Yeah, well, I think that's obvious. We need that. Is Bridgewater Print what everybody's using?
That's what we use, yeah.
Um. Okay, so, are you all saying that we should do handouts and not mailing? Is that what I'm hearing?
One of the things I wonder if we might consider is using Arbor Day. In the past, we've gotten seedlings and we've handed them out at the polls on election day, which was a pretty good, it went over well. And I'm wondering if we can't do that again, and with it, hand out the information about how to plant the trees. Or is that just confusing the issue? I'm trying to
No.
see ways in which we can garner a crowd. I suppose they're not going to come to the polls just to get a tree seedling.
No, that's a good idea, Shirley.
Yeah. The other issue with the mailings is that we would have to sort of go through the list ourselves, because if we just get a general list of tax mailings for the town, for instance, excise tax, we're gonna get apartment dwellers also, which we don't want. We just want homeowners, if possible, to
Hmm.
am I hearing you want to stay away from the mailing? Is that what I'm hearing right now?
At that cost, I think it's rather prohibitive.
Well, remember, we have 27,000 right now. And we will, depending how the hotel for NIP turns out, we may get another 25,000 in the next few weeks. That's up and down. I'm willing to go either way. I see advantages both ways, but if you want to, this idea of handing things out, maybe it's the best way to go, because we don't have to just do election day. There may be other town functions where we could hand things out besides just simply at the polls. Even Autumn Fest, things like that, when things pop up, we could hand things out. So am I hearing you want to just hand things out, right?
I think at this point, that might be a way to start it off.
Okay, and then what we need then is
The printing information.
we need to print the document then. And
And that time of year is good.
pardon me?
That time of year is good for the planting.
Yeah, in the spring.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we've decided on the first option that Bill sent, correct? Have we agreed on that?
Yes.
All right. And we need to know the cost of Bridgewater printing those out then. Bill, you said it's 2 sheets, 2-sided?
Geez, I'm not sure.
Double-sided probably.
You want me to bring it back up?
Yeah, could you?
Yeah.
I think it's 2-sided and it's a single fold.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's what I think it is too. Cause
And
it
if-
looked like there's a good fold down the middle for it.
Perhaps the printer could figure out a way to add something that would say it's from the tree board,
Mhm.
rather than us stamping each one with a rubber stamp.
Hmm.
Now, wait a minute, is it 2 pages,
Mhm.
Bill? 2-sided or?
Double-sided.
I'm still confused whether we're talking about 2 pages or 1 page.
It's 2 pages on the document. So this is the first page,
Yeah,
and this is the second page.
Just 2 pages front and back, so
2 pages front and back.
Right.
Okay,
I don't see any space for our tree committee, but
I think.
can,
Go back-
could we do like business cards and attach them?
You go back to page 1, if you could, for a sec. I think any printer or graphic person could, change
Yeah.
that, where it says tree planting guide. Sure,
Right,
that photo, leave a blank there.
right.
yeah, I think so too. All right, if you want, I'll go. Josh, did you say you know them at Bridgewater Print, or you want me to go over there?
Yeah, I can definitely, excuse me, I can reach out to them, and if you guys have a number in mind of what you'd like me to get a quote for.
They'll probably charge based on the quantity, it'll probably be,
We have to ask we know how many residents there are roughly, but we don't know how many dwellings or.
I would think we want at least, a couple thousand?
Right, I think if we find out what a couple thousand are, if this is one of those things where there's a text, which is how to plant a tree. The subtext is our reason for doing this, I think, which is we have a tree committee. And these are people in town who were telling a story about, hey, there is a tree committee in town again. We are involved in various things, and this is just an initial, for most people, this would be an initial indication that we exist. And hopefully we build on that in a year or so, like this is what the tree committee has been doing, and we craft our own sort of communications that we would be doing in other venues later. But I think a large number of these with any kind of indication that this is who it's coming from would be worth doing. So probably 2,000 would be a minimum for getting a decent price on them.
Okay,
That's what the price points are.
any, comments? 2,000?
I have a question. And it maybe in regards to the Tree City, is there a formal announcement that the Tree City people provide the town that we could somehow disseminate to the population somehow?
Yes,
And, you
yes,
know,
they will help us do,
Oh,
the announcement, I guess, talk to us about that. I can talk to Julie and see what that entails, getting the sign, and definitely doing some PR around that, which would be announced early next year. We also will need to start planning for our next Arbor Day, which is in April. So all of these things could potentially be, leading up to that point or part of it, however we think. But I was just going to look on the Arbor Day Foundation page again, because there were resources available from them that were very cheap, in bulk, like printable material. So let me see if I can find that again.
Alrighty, I'll let you go.
Was that called the Trees for America brochure?
no.
Okay.
There is a front page on that, Josh. Can you take a look at it?
I think it's true, it said Tree USA, something on it.
Yeah, I'll put it back up on the screen.
Tree planting guide, okay. Well, okay,
Because there is another version of that through arborday.org where we could get 2,000 printed for $9.95.
Well, that sounds pretty good.
But it's it's only showing you how to put the sapling, to plant the sapling. Here, I'll share my screen.
Yeah, can you highlight that area?
no, you know.
So it's this one, Plant Trees for America. Has a step-by-step planting instructions for bare root trees. Talks a little bit about, you know, how it impacts climate. And then it's really more of a plug for Arbor Day celebrations,
Yeah,
you know, so it's, but it,
Most people don't get bare root trees.
I know, it's too bad they don't have any other publications available.
it's obviously not
Yeah.
as
No,
detailed as the other one.
yeah, they basically just have this book and this, you know, these Trees for America brochure is all I
Yeah.
can see so far.
Okay, awesome.
Too bad. Celebration materials, publications.
Okay,
Yeah. That was it.
I'm not, you know, the cost wise, we haven't really spent money, and I see no reason we can't spend money. I mean, we need to test the system anyway. So if this costs a few $100s to print these up, then so be it in my mind. The question is, do we want to go this way? I mean, it sounds like we do. I mean, is there the idea of printing up the initial copy that Bill had, looking at the price, Bridgewater print, how much it's going to cost, and then printing 2,000 of them.
Mhm.
I expect I mean, we don't have to do it in color. We can do it in black and white, correct?
Mhm.
Color would be more money if we print it that way, or no?
I'd do it in color.
You would?
I would. Maybe if it doesn't pop, most people are just gonna toss it away.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Alright.
we want to take it seriously.
And we have to, Josh, when you talk to them, we have to find someplace to put our name on it. You know, who we are. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah.
That's why I was wondering if we needed a little postcard, a little something to attach that to, like a small little postcard or something, because technically that is like, I don't think we could alter something that is published by someone.
That was gonna be my next question is.
Yeah, I don't think we can alter the actual brochure. So I think we would need to attach a little, yeah, like somebody was saying, like a little business card or a little postcard that says, you know, who we are and why we're giving them this brochure, because it provides helpful information.
Hmm. How do we attach?
So that would be a whole other
And
something to
we
print.
would not alter it, but add a page to it. So
Yeah,
first
basically.
be something from Bridgewater, and then it'll turn into the brochure.
Little insert.
Yep.
Or shrink it. If we print it on 8.5 by 14, then we have 3 inches of space to use. Or if we shrink it to 90%, we have one
Right.
line up the side. It looked
Yeah.
like it might even be made for that. I couldn't tell if on the right-hand side of the first page, that white margin is part of the paper size. That might be getting a little bit cute, but
I think that margin was just for editing with the
okay,
Adobe.
we can't play with that. But if we're
And another option would be, you know, just like those labels, just printing out, you know, courtesy of Bridgewater Tree Committee, and just stick them to them.
right,
You mean a sticky on it, Josh?
Yeah, like the label sheets, you know, that you would do
Yeah.
for when you mailers.
I like that idea. That'd be the simplest thing than simply trying to attach something with a paperclip or something to do that. All right, so let's, we can try to finalize this next meeting. So Josh, you're gonna check with Bridgewater Print with the various options, cost-wise and whether, and wait a minute, let's be clear. You're all saying we can't put our name on this in terms of having it,
On the document itself.
even a sticky, you don't think we can do that?
No, I think a sticky would be okay,
Do
wouldn't it?
that.
All right, I think a sticky is the easiest way to do it anyway, and Josh, maybe you can check with him.
Yeah.
In terms of printing and stickies too, okay?
And is our target the election date?
I'm sorry?
Are
Yeah.
we targeting the election date to use the first batch?
I think so.
Pardon?
Well, that's the election, which election are you talking about?
The spring election where we're talking about,
Oh, I mean, I think, yeah, Pat, if we did, once we decide, I'm sure they could print it up in 2 or 3 days if we wanted to. I mean, if we can get it. We can get
right, but are we, is that what we've decided to do?
My feeling is if we're gonna hand things out, we look at the
Mhm.
schedule of events in Bridgewater for 2024 and just show up at some of these things. Once the election could be a lot, number of things that are going
Okay.
on. You know?
Okay,
Yeah, I think that would be more useful than going in the tax bills anyway, because most people will throw it away. Only people will take them if they actually sort of care and want and are interested.
All right, so then our next meeting, we will definitely decide on, we have decided on which one to print. We'll decide on how many we're gonna print when Josh gets back to us on the cost.
So baseline 2,000.
2,000, yeah.
I would
If,
see
you know,
next
see,
week is-
Josh, get some other prices too. And if we go, say if it's cheaper at 3,000 or whatever, you know.
Yeah, I was going to ask if there's cost savings with the higher you go.
I expect 2,000 is not overdoing it. I think we'll probably get a lot of these out fairly quickly. And besides, if there's no time span on these things, we can use them anytime. They can be used in 3 years from now. You know, so nothing wrong with doing, if we, you know, do more than 2,000 if necessary.
Okay.
All right, good. All right, Herbie trees, you gave me some suggestions last time. I think I passed it on to Merrily. I haven't heard anything else about that. The forum. I think I screwed up on this. I think I was supposed to do something on this. We did decide on a forum, correct? You know, I mean, we decided to do something in the spring on a forum on tree planting. We still want to do that. I mean, that seemed to be okay. I did talk to Jed at the library and he's all for it. We could set, we do it at night. I mean, I did a thing a couple weeks ago at the library at night and people show up. And so I think it's good for, you know, getting information out and just PR for us. And my thought was to have 2 or 3 experts on trees on the panel and have them speak and then people ask questions. Thoughts? I mean, have we, I thought we agreed on doing this. Is that still the feeling?
Well, I think
Yes,
it's,
we just
Shirley?
have to find our experts.
yeah, right.
yeah, I think it's going to take some planning to make this a, something that people are going to want to come to, number one, and to be sure we get the right information out. One of the experts we might consider is the new nursery, well, not so new now. It's down on Summer Street after, or on the way to Middleborough. It's one of the best nurseries in the state. And they deal mostly with landscapers, but they do have retail business going in on a weekend, on a Saturday, I believe. They might be a source of information and might be part of a forum. But I really think if we're going to have a forum, there's got to be a catchy reason for people to want to come. It might be something scientific, like to try to communicate the value of trees and how important it might be in climate change. In addition to giving information about what would be the most desirable trees for a homeowner on a different size lot, whether it's a small, medium, large. Things of that sort might be helpful. It's also a way of getting out information about how to plant trees. But I do think that it's going to take a little planning. If we're going to have a forum, we really want to have a nice, tight menu.
Agreed. And I think your point, Shirley, is good about not just how to plant trees, but the importance of trees in terms of climate change and so forth. James, you have contact with people at the college. I mean, I'm sure there are people, one or two people we could look to, right? And even yourself possibly.
I mean, even myself possibly, if I'm with somebody who's different, I can talk about the big kind of picture in climate change and different region. You know, I could gear up for something like that as long as there's somebody who actually is expert on these other facets, like a nursery person, or maybe even our new greenhouse director. I don't know what her background is entirely, but we have a new professional manager of the greenhouse on campus. Of course, she doesn't grow big trees in there because it's got a roof, but I can find out what her background is. But I think looking at a commercial nursery.
James, why don't you go through your mind in terms of who at the college might be helpful, and give us a couple options at the next meeting as to who would be good. Let's clarify what Shirley brought up though. I mean, how would we want to break this down? If we have, say we have three people, you have one person talking about the overview, climate change and so forth, another about types of trees, good in terms of for certain places, another maybe just planting, how to plant and so forth. Is that something like that? Or I'm open to suggestions.
I think so. Coming at this, the one of the MacArthur Genius Award winners, this round of MacArthur Award winners who were just announced is a professor in I think Boston University, one of the schools in Boston, who has demonstrated the importance of urban trees as being more beneficial than trees in the middle of a forest in terms of absorbing carbon. That the space around a tree in an urban area makes it more beneficial. I can at least share that. We could see if she's, I mean, we're not too far from Boston, but she's kind of a big deal now, so we might not be able to get
Well,
her.
that brings up another point, James. Live or hybrid or online? I personally like live.
Live. I don't even want these to be online anymore, so
Well,
it's really can't
I
get.
mean, getting
excited
somebody
about
that's in
public
Boston,
do
maybe
another
have a
webinar.
person come down.
Yeah.
I did a thing week and a half ago at the library, and I had 40 some people. So I think people will show up.
Mhm.
So why don't we try to put it in place of the next meeting as to what types of speeches we want, how to organize it. What about a time span? February, March, what do you think?
I think February is ideal
Anybody else?
because we're ahead of planting and we're at the end of our winter doldrums.
February good? Bill, you think?
I think February is good.
Right?
Be a time when we might think about also talking about the value of saving trees with an emphasis away from clear cutting. And would it be too political to talk about clear cutting in terms of how it might affect Bridgewater? I know that we have a project down by the NIP that is going to necessitate clearing quite a few trees. I don't know if this is such a hot issue that we should at least aware the public to the fact that clear cutting is not the best way to deal with our climate change, and that it's going to be a tricky issue, I think, because it could become political.
Well, I see nothing wrong with talking about clear cutting. If bringing in a specific situation in Bridgewater may not be the best thing, but I see nothing wrong with talking about clear cutting and the negative aspects of it. So anyway, what do you want to, what day of the week do you want? Do you want to actually, if you give me a date, I'll talk to Jed and just, we'll put it in the library. I mean, we'll just set aside a time right now. And just, we'll go force us to put this together. I think, probably Monday's not the best day to get people to come out, but, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, not Friday, of course.
Wednesday in the middle of February, whatever date that is.
Okay, what do the rest of you think?
Let's not compete with something like the town council or things of this sort. However, if we can stay away from major meetings that might be going on.
True.
We're more important than the town council. Nobody, I'm not worried about them. I think Tuesday or Wednesday, it's probably as town council meets Tuesday, right? Josh, they meet Tuesday. Yeah, how about a Wednesday, the middle of February? What do you
Right.
think?
Valentine's Day on a Sunday, so Wednesday is good.
Okay,
Isn't that planning board?
do I care? I won't be on
Might
the
be every
planning board
week.
by that time. All right, I'll check on that.
Thank you.
Senior setting planning's nothing. I've heard nothing, any change yet. I do want to bring up one point. I intend to get off the planning board once the hotel project, the NIP and the Perkins property is complete, which probably will be early next year, maybe even sooner. I do want to stay on the tree committee, and I did talk to Michael. You have to go, Josh. Okay. Thanks, Josh. I did talk to Michael, and he said as long as the planning board votes to make me representative of the planning board to the tree committee, I can stay on. So assuming I can get the planning board to vote me in, I'll stay on the tree committee. But on that point, I think that you should all think about how changing the officers here. I mean, if somebody wants to take over as chair, I think that's fine. We did start this at the beginning of this year. So I suppose we should have elections at the beginning of next year as to new officers. That's your call. I mean, we could set them ourselves. I know the planning board does it at fiscal year in July. But I think we should think of, we are a regular board committee, excuse me. We are a committee, not a board. And that we should be a formal committee in that respect. So think about that. So I have anybody, any thoughts?
Good meeting.
Did
I
we
think-
cover the crescent trees?
I'm sorry,
Did we cover the Crescent Street trees yet?
the Crescent Street trees I thought we did that last meeting, is dead. That's an issue. I've talked to Michael about it, and he's no interest in, my impression was he has no interest in pushing it. Other than we should have some information going out to people about street trees. They can't
Right.
see.
Right.
And that we may also have to think about how that's going to come about as to how we want to get that information out.
That was one of the things that we thought about having in a pamphlet of information that goes out to the general public.
Yeah, I know. I remember that now, Shirley, yes. Maybe we could, if we're gonna hand out something on planting trees, maybe we could have a little one-page thing on street trees too, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. It's important.
Yeah, I don't know if that's ever happened before. I mean, that case was, and I wouldn't have known about it until somebody had told me.
Oh, I'm sure it's happening. And I think we could just do social media posts. I mean, that's what reaches everybody about, you know, who cut those trees down.
Well, I wouldn't want to do that as an official board member of the tree committee. I don't know. I'm not on social media anyway, and I don't intend to be.
It seems to be the best way to reach people these days.
Yeah, I know. I know. Well, if anybody, I'd be careful about, any of us official member of a board going on social media and criticizing somebody. I prefer the town as a body. to
You
do-
can post anonymously now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
So
so what
that's
would be
good.
the goal? We
To
can
let
just
people
harass them
know,
because it makes us
to let
feel
people know they shouldn't do it.
right. So yeah, I think an educational piece that goes informing people about some of the more important well, I guess when we finalize the tree ordinance, this would be a good chance to educate people about what it requires of them. Does the tree ordinance mean anything to you, individual person? Yes, it does.
well, that could be another one-sided flyer that we hand out with the thing on planting trees. And
Yeah, there's a new ordinance. Here's its letters and
Yeah,
QR
yeah.
code. If you want to read the whole thing,
That
but
could
here's
work.
10 key things to know about it. And that could go out on social media.
Well, let's not hand everything out all at once. I mean,
You don't want to give people a stack of papers.
no.
I hear you, Bill.
Yeah, true.
All right, so the next meeting, the main part of the next meeting will be the tree ordinance.
Mhm.
We will hear from Nicole that things are finalized for the Tree City. And if there's any problems, Nicole, let me know. The Forestry Department will keep on moving along. We're gonna get a report from Nicole and Shirley on tree mitigation. Pamphlets we've already decided on. And Josh will give us a report from the vendor, Bridgewater Print, on cost. And we'll get some ideas on the forum. James, you'll look into people at the college that may be good. And we can possibly, I think it's good to bring people from the college. But if there's people that are qualified in the area, there's
Certainly.
nothing wrong with that either, bringing somebody in.
Oh, I think we definitely don't want just the college.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think there are probably a lot more people than we realize that are qualified, including Bill. You could be a person on the.
Maybe at some point in the past, but I'm not qualified to any longer. I don't think.
Well, we'll see about
But
that.
on a quick note, my son Brandon has told me that there's a new facilities manager at the college with a real good feeling for trees. And I don't know if you know, but for the last 30 years, we've been doing all the tree work at Bridgewater State. And I guess none of you are familiar with this guy. I am not.
I'm not. James?
I'll see if I can find out who he is.
Yeah. He lives in town.
Okay.
Hmm.
I'll find out who that is.
Okay.
Yeah, I know there's been
Good.
couple retirements there, so good to know.
We might make him our new chairman. Who knows?
Sure.
All right.
Cool.
Okay.
Anybody
Well,
else?
I got to get off to a doctor's appointment, so.
Here we go.
Okay. Anybody else? Oh,
Yes.
thank you very much. Next meeting in December.
Okay,
Thanks,
thanks.
everybody.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Ray.